Okay, so we've been asked by a few friends to just kind of give you a synopsis of how we do this life
How we got started.
and how we got started. So here we go.
But basically, we were wanted to move out of California for numerous reasons. So to get ready, we decided to put we had retired out of the business in January of 20, just before the China virus. So we made all that happen, and then because of the forest fires and the insurances and everything else, we decided to sell the house. So selling the house was interesting. We've been there for 35 years, and it was, thank God the homeowners bought almost everything we had, but we still had to do garage sales, eBay sales, and all this stuff to get rid of all the clutter. And at this point, we left not having any storage facilities for our stuff. We still have a little bit of stuff for the kids, but other than that, that's about it. We had the RV existing. We bought in 2000, early 2020, January 2020, just so we could, before we had absolutely planned on selling the house, we could travel, do a few things here and there for a week or 2 weeks at a time, then come back. But we decided that after we remodeled the house with all the forest fires and after the China virus and everything else, the real estate values skyrocketed, and it was a good time to get out. So we left on the journey in July of 21.
Now, before we left, the house sold quicker than what we thought.
Yeah.
So Steve was trying to figure out how we were going to be able to stay and not have to pay so much money. And we watched a lot of RV videos on YouTube, and we came across America's.
No, yeah, but we came across America's Mailbox.
And we also came across
Thousand
Trails. And so.
But America's Mailbox, we got that set up. So since we were moving from California to South Dakota, we weren't going to live in South Dakota. We had to get a residency somewhere else to get rid of all the crazy fees and taxes and registration stuff in California. So we journeyed to South Dakota, stayed there a night, and we actually stayed there for almost 2 weeks, but we stayed there and we got our...
All they require is a night.
Yeah, they require one night, and with the receipts, you go into like a place like America's Mailbox because they help you get through the driver's license, the licensings of the vehicle, the insurance, the voter registration, and that's about it, right? That takes,
yeah, I think so.
and our residency there, and gets all that done. So we did all that in South Dakota, and then started our journey to look for a place to go,
to settle.
So, but I had purchased back in June of that year a Thousand Trails membership used, which allowed us to book our campsites 6 months in advance. So that, and we paid like about $5,000 plus fees, maybe almost $6,000 for it, which, at that time it paid for itself in about 4 months, 5-6 months. And we were able to stay all across the country, while at that time our thoughts were, we're going to look for a place to relocate.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of our goal. And we knew we'd be traveling once we found a place to locate, we still wanted to travel. But, and then we bought the Thousand Trails membership because it was going to make the journey a lot less expensive because of the cost of campgrounds anymore. Go for about $60 to $70 a night on an average, and that's no resort. That's just a average campground. So we bought that, went to America's Mailbox, and of course, we had the outfit, the trailer, and we bought this thing brand new, and we made a lot of changes to it. We put theater seats in it, got rid of the jackknife sofa was here. We put all the electrical, we built in the electrical box so that if there's a surge or something at the regular box, so here where you plug into, this is a 50 amp trailer, that would always be surge protected and that type of thing. and then we put water filters in it, and then all the necessary little tools and crazy stuff you need for the black tanks, the water tanks, all the hoses, all the chemicals, all the different tools you need to maintain it, and all the chemicals. There's a lot of stuff. You know, those videos that have necessities you need for your travel trailer, your RV that's on YouTube is great to watch. What am I missing?
And so we've been on the road now 2.5 years,
Right.
and we still haven't found a place that we want to.
Yeah. There's no perfect place. That's for every place has its own
Yes.
problems.
So, bottom line of it is, we go from campground to campground, and we pay. If there's 1,000 trails, we pay nothing. So, last year, we were in 1,000 trails for 344 days.
Yeah.
So therefore,
In their system.
in their system, so therefore, we didn't pay anything for
Yeah.
that.
Just our annual dues, which is about $550, and for the
Trails
the
collection.
Trails collection package runs about 3.5 roughly.
Now the Trails collection plus gets you into places like where we're at right now, the Keys. And I'm telling you, just
It's nice down here.
just really amazing.
Yeah.
So, anyway, here we are. So let's just say, I'm not gonna say how much we have, but this is what we spend a month. What do you think we spend a month?
We spend now.
We move every 3 weeks.
Yeah, about every 3 weeks is 2 to 3 weeks is our average move, because that's what you can say in the 1,000 Trails system. Yeah, you can go park to park, and you can go from this park to the other park to this park, and
You can go
all
back and
across the
forth
country.
all year long if you
Yeah.
want.
It's great because they have parks most everywhere. The heartland is pretty sparse. There's very little in the heartland of the country, the flyover country, I guess you call it. But there's a little over 200 parks we have to choose from. A lot of them are concentrated in Florida, which is really nice because we can travel all over Florida from November through March, leaving maybe mid-April. I think we're leaving mid-April this year. But it allows us to stay in nice weather. You don't have definitely don't have the snows and the cold like you do up north and that type of thing here. So it's very livable.
Now, we had gone this year up to Maine and back. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And again, didn't cost us a dime.
Yeah.
It cost us in gas. So how
Yeah.
much do you think
Okay,
we...
back to the costs. We spend about $4,000 a month. We spend about, food and entertaining and all that kind of stuff, probably $1,100 to $1,200. Gas about $500-600. Let's see here. And of course, we have the trailer payment. We have to make that. That's about $300 because we have to have a bill. And then all the internet and stuff and cell phones runs us about $300 a month.
And then America's Mailbox is where we get our mail. So we have to keep $200 in the fund, right?
Right.
So
to
that
cover
they...
the shipping and their
Yeah.
annual fee.
Yeah, their annual fee, and then they ship us our mail. And usually we get it FedEx because most campgrounds do not do
U.S. mail.
U.S. mail. So it's either UPS or FedEx.
Yeah, so
And
FedEx
FedEx
is
seems to be
cheaper.
cheaper.
Yeah. So we
So-
get the mail out of there. And then, then there's a miscellaneous expenses, gosh, I can't think of, I don't have my list in front of me, but we spend about $4,000 a month. Of course, there's maintenance fees, and there's maintenance for the truck, and chemicals, and paper goods, and all that stuff we go through, and clothes, and dog food.
Dog
But
food.
it costs us about $4,000 a month, roughly. But we're always on the move. When we go to a campground like this, we always we're in the Keys. it doesn't get much better than this. So we'll be going to Key West, to Key Largo, on some not cruises but excursions. A lot of eating out because you got to have.
That's another thing too, is eating out. Normally, Steve likes to smoke. He likes to make jerky. Obviously, he's on
Smoked
another
chicken.
diet, so whatever. But he does a lot of smoking chicken, and he does a lot of barbecuing. So I feel like that we get better food at home than we do going out. But very seldom do we go out. But when we're in like the Keys, we'll go out and have maybe a lobster dinner, blah blah blah, something of that sort. So we set aside extra money for that. But that's not something that we would do all the time. We don't, on moving day, the day before moving day, we have pizza, and we have extra pizza to where we can have that for breakfast
While we're on the road.
while we're on the road. So, like our trip here, it was 400 miles, so we prepared for that. We put fruit in the car. I made some little treats to take along with us, and then plus the pizza. So we didn't have to stop for lunch. It took us 8 hours to get here, plus a fill up.
Yeah.
But while we're here for 3 weeks, the grocery stores are like 5 miles away.
Yeah.
So
pretty
there's
convenient.
there's no using gas for 3 weeks. All of our electricity is already paid for because it's part of
the package. It's
the
in the
1,000
parts.
Trails. All the water, the electricity, etc.
We just have to buy the propane.
Right. And so,
Yeah, we usually do about propane about probably $30 a month. No, $40 a month in propane.
yeah, that's kind of
And that's not normal. Shirley bakes all the time when she's down. She bakes cookies and that type of stuff. So the propane normally goes for that. So if you're not using the heater, which being in Florida you're not going to very often, you would probably go through a 30-pound tank of propane every 3 months, maybe 6 months.
Now, I'm glad you brought up about the heater. My brother-in-law told me before we left, Shirley, go out and buy an electric heater. And so we bought one, and we very seldom turn on the big heater because that small heater will heat this small space. And it's on 1,000 Trails electricity. So, getting back to 1,000 Trails, the 1,000 Trails that we belong to, it is forever. All you have to do is keep your dues up.
Right.
We don't pay any more money after
the initial
initial sale. You just pay for your
maintenance. Well, it's just your dues. It's the maintenance fees they use for the parks and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
But our annual dues are about $550, maybe $575 a year, and that's it.
So
now, since we travel so much, we upgraded our membership and spent X amount of dollars on a higher upgraded membership, so it gives us more access to the parks. We have longer booking times on the part they call the Trails Collection, and we have cabin passes. There's a whole lot of amenities that go along with that new program, but since we're full-time traveling, for us it was well worth it. It allows us, we can stay in the Encore parks is usually only a 2-week stay, and then you have to be out of the park for 7 days, and you can go back into it. That was on our old program. But this, you can spend, 3 weeks in each one of these parks. And in Florida, for the wintertime, there's 40 different parks down here.
Encore parks.
Actually, Encore parks. So it makes 42 total parks down here that we can stay 3 weeks in. So it gives a lot more flexibility. And as you go across the nation, Arizona has a lot of, and Texas has a lot of the Encore parks. And the summers are really, well, like, this park here, we have to pay $20 a night. It's an extra fee because these parks are so expensive down here. But these normally go for about $250 to $300 a night. Isn't that right?
Correct.
And we
Correct.
pay $20.
Yeah.
So, well
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, but the closer you get to the water, the more money it is to stay here. So
Right. Those are the $300 sites. On the
yeah,
ocean.
$300 and $400.
And that's if you can get them.
Yeah. So, let's see. We talked about the 1,000 Trails. We
Mhm.
talked about
America's Mailbox.
America's Mailbox and how much we spend on gas. We talked about
Right.
that.
Yeah, it depends if we got gas. Coming down here, we probably went through 30 gallons of gas or of diesel coming down here.
Yeah.
We get about, towing this, we get about 12, 13 miles a gallon. So, and we have a spare tank in the truck, which this is a lifesaver
Yeah.
for long trips. And especially with gas prices now, if you can go to the truck stops, which we have a fuel discount card, this is diesel, that we get about 50, 60 cents off the posted price. So if diesel is normally $4 a gallon, we can get it for about the 3.5 price range. But it depends. It depends on how the prices fluctuate.
Mhm.
So, and of course, we have the new truck, so the maintenance on that thing runs us about $100 a month when it comes to the average oil change and that type of stuff we do. And we take it in every 5,000 miles for an oil change and
Tires rotated.
tires rotated and any diagnostics it needs or recalls that they have, which every time we take it in, they add another accessory to it because when we bought it in 22 with the chip shortage, it didn't have everything. And so now, and then they credit us back for that. And now when they put it in, they don't charge us anything for it. That accessory is just new.
Yeah.
And so,
So
and then, tires are going to be, we haven't had to put tires on it, but they're expensive. They're going to run about $400 a piece,
yeah, but
something like that.
we're not going to have to do that for a while, right?
No,
Yeah, and that's probably
about 20 more thousand miles.
one time every 2 or 3 years, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's about it. Don't
That's
you
about
think?
it. I mean, it's a pretty simple life. You don't have all the. Of course, you get your registration stuff in South Dakota that you have to pay.
Well, tell
But-
them how much money you saved on that.
Oh man, that's nuts. Now,
We had a 2017 truck.
yeah, and that ran us about $1,000 a year to have done. The trailer ran us about $400 a year for registration. And now, now we bought the new truck.
Well, tell them how much
Well,
you
wait a minute, hold on a second. We bought the new truck and we saved a ton of money in sales tax versus California, because in California they charge you on the gross amount. In South Dakota they charge you on the net amount. With they take your trade-in off. And South Dakota sales tax is 4% versus 9-10% in California. And the registration we pay for the new truck, which would be even more in California, and the trailer between the two of we pay $300 a year. So that's pretty cheap. But the insurance runs us about $225 a month. That's about our monthly bill on insurance. California would be a lot more, but South Dakota's a ton cheaper. But it's still expensive. Insurance is going up everywhere, markedly. So
now. Let's talk about medical.
medical, we're both on Medicare, so that pretty much takes care of everything.
When we joined South Dakota from
Oh,
California, California for me was how much?
Well, with California, of course, you've got your your Part A and your Part B, and however that goes. But for the additional plan you need, it was costing us about $250 a month for that. Yeah, it had to be by the month, about $250 a month in that area. With South Dakota, it's a lot. In talking to our insurance guy, it's a lot better plan for what you get, and it's $25 a piece for that.
A month.
A month, yeah, $25 a month a piece. So it's just a whole lot cheaper.
Now, we haven't really been to the doctor in anywhere else except for Grass Valley.
Right. Which still takes the South Dakota plan.
Right. So we're just waiting to go back to the doctor.
Right. Yeah, we have our appointments now to go back to the doctor, everything checked out, make sure we're good.
Yeah. So that's about it, wouldn't you think?
That's about it. I mean, this life is a blessing. Lord has blessed us, one, with good health, and two, being able to do this. We'd never imagined we would be doing this. We've had a ball. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's not the cheapest lifestyle in the world, but but if you start putting what houses are going for now, this is just for us being able to travel at this age while we're still healthy and able to do this is a nice way to go.
Yeah, and not only that, the people that you meet along the way. I mean,
oh, they're great.
I think out of the 2.5 years, we've only had one person, maybe two at the most, that was rude and
obnoxious.
Yeah. And and that so what? But people keep connecting with you.
And they're very like-minded. A lot of church-going people, a lot of mostly right-leaning ideologies because of the age group, and they just kind of think alike. You're out of the big cities for the most part. You're out in the rural parts. I mean, a lot of the thousand trails are near big centers. I mean, there's one in Orlando, which a lot of people go to. There's Morgan Hill in California, New York City, Washington. They're all over the place. A lot of them are near big cities, but they're more of a rural setting. But the RV crowd seems to be, they're very nice, very congenial, very helpful, and very red. Right?
Yeah.
So, very patriotic. You see flags. They always got their American flags up and their military flags up.
It's a crowd that we fit in.
Yeah, we really fit in well.
Yeah.
And if you need anything, there is always somebody who will stop by and give you a hand.
When we first got started, it was a big learning curve.
Oh, man.
We were scared to death. And I remember we were somewhere up by past Washington somewhere, and the storms, and it was just rocking the whole place, and I was scared to death. We made a stupid mistake, and on and on and on. But I tell you, just walking through all that made me a stronger person, I think. And I think, my brother said something to the effect of, well, sis, there's a lot of tornadoes down there in the Keys during the winter. And I said, yeah, well, we've been through 2 or 3 of them, and we just laid there because there's only one road in and one road out.
There you go. Where are you gonna go?
You don't want to get stuck on the road and end up in the water, so we just stayed put. And there was I think we were like in Ohio or something where there was another one.
Oh, it was Missouri.
And everybody was saying, hey, go to the bathroom, hang out in the bathroom until it's over with.
Yeah, old brick buildings, and they're tornado shelters.
So, just, wanted to let you know that
it's very doable.
It's scary.
It's scary,
really is
but it's scary at first. It really is.
Because we've never dealt with anything but California weather.
California weather. Which is, it's not all it's cracked up to be, because there's some beautiful places, beautiful weather we've been into. Of course, I mean, this lifestyle, you design it so you follow the sun. So you're not running into, you're always going to run into some kind of weather, there's no question about it. But you got to hang in there for 6 months, at least. You got to make that kind of commitment, because after the first month, it starts getting better and better. And we didn't know even we'd only drained the black tack once on this thing before we took off full time. We didn't know how to do anything. That's crazy.
Yeah.
In fact, we didn't even sleep in this thing. Well, we did. We went to Fort Bragg that 1 week. And
One
slept
week
in it.
we slept in it.
And that was back
And the
in.
guy showed you how to dump
He
the
showed me
black
how to
tank.
dump a black tank. I was having nightmares about having crap all over the campground. But all that stuff gets to be second nature.
You know, and again, everybody's out here. They're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
You know, they help us out. We help them out. You know, somebody, we saw somebody get their awning busted, and Steve helped them put it up and taped it to the roof so the guy can make it home. And the guy was so thankful, wanted to pay Steve and wanted to do this for Steve, and Steve said no. You
I
know,
want to do that. You know,
It-
pay it forward.
yeah, just do something for somebody else.
Yeah.
So you know, this is a really, really, really nice
It's a good
lifestyle.
life. It's a good life.
And you know, I hope that what we're talking about will help you make up your decision. But you know, I wouldn't do it any other way.
No, I don't regret a day of it. You know, we miss parts of the house. I mean, that's you know, being in a house. There's a lot of security. You know where everything is. You have all your stuff. Which one thing we've learned is stuff. It doesn't mean anything once you've been out for a while, and you know the trade-off is great. But you know, we left the security of the house and to be on the road, and I guess basically homeless. How's that? But you know, you know, we are eventually, can't do this forever, so we'll eventually have another house or another living arrangement where it's more solid. But for now, this has been great. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay, guys, I'll let you go. Thank you for
Putting up.
stopping by.